Lincoln Park Zoo has been an amazing place to work for the past 40 years. We went private from the Chicago Park District in 1995, and our first goal really was to change the look of the zoo grounds, to create better environments for our animals, better experience for the public.
One of the amazing things about Lincoln Park Zoo is that we're not just a zoo, we're also this jewel of an oasis in the middle of Chicago. So you come here and you get to have a natural experience, and you get to see animals, but you also get to see these beautiful habitats that the animals reside in, as well as beautiful gardens that are outside of those habitats.
So another thing that's exciting about working at Lincoln Park is the team that we have here at Lincoln Park Zoo. It has been an incredible growth of very professional, very dedicated staff.
I think one of the things that's amazing about our veterinary department is that they are tasked with caring for all of the animals here at the zoo, from the smallest to the largest. So Eastern Massasauga rattlesnakes are endangered in the Midwest region, and specifically in the state of Illinois. They are functionally extinct in the wild, and we have all of the Eastern Massasauga rattlesnakes that have been found in the state of Illinois here at Lincoln Park Zoo. Right now, we have a pair of storks who have been so successful that they are overrepresented in the population. And so because of that, we have been asked to take eggs from a pair of storks that are actually very genetically valuable for that species and maintaining the population in AZA, and bring that egg to Lincoln Park Zoo to be hatched out by our pair. Because we know if we have a pair that is going to be able to rear that chick, it is going to be the pair that we have here. Very proud to be a part of these types of conservation efforts. I think it's one of the things that Lincoln Park Zoo does so well.
This year, we're celebrating the 10th anniversary of the endocrinology lab that has been funded by the Davey Foundation. They have enabled us to study 86 different species, not only here in Chicago, but around the world. We also have developed several different endocrinology labs with our partners, several in Africa, such in Rwanda, South Africa, and Tanzania. With their support, we've been able to have a real impact, not only in Chicago, but around the world.
So one of the areas that we've been working in for a long time is our Serengeti Health Initiative in Tanzania. And there we've been vaccinating domestic dogs, actually, against rabies to protect the wildlife that live in Serengeti National Park and the people that live around the park. And we've had really positive outcomes from that project, really large impact. But recently we've been really trying to figure out what else do we do there? How do we go deeper? And what else can we bring to the science in that area? So we're excited to announce that we have hired a new research scientist, Dr. Dennis Wrench, who will be starting this fall. And his focus is really going to be to build that program up and to investigate ways that conservation initiatives around the park can better support the wildlife and the people who live in that area. Another of our conservation programs that we're really proud of is our work in the Gologo Triangle in the Republic of Congo. And this is where we are working, Dr. Dave Morgan, who's on staff here, and Dr. Cricket Sands, who is affiliated with the zoo as well. We're working to basically study how chimpanzees and gorillas coexist in a really, really remote forest, but also how the impacts of things like commercial logging and other human impacts are influencing the behavior and the ecology and the diseases that those apes can get. So, closer to home, in our own backyard.
I've worked with the Red Wolf Species Survival Plan, the AZA, the Zoo Association's cooperative breeding plan, for 16 years now. Because the Population Management Center was involved so long, in 2013, the SSP came to us and asked for help to look at the wild population. And so they asked us if we could do a population viability analysis for that, which is a long-term analysis going in more depth to examine the health of a species. In the case of red wolves, a population viability analysis could make the difference between survival and extinction. It's a wild population, and it's the last of the species, so it's a more important goal than most.
The staff, on their own, has an incredible sense of doing what's best and making sure that what we're doing is the best. And I think you've seen the results of that over the years in our conservation science and our education programs.
Partners in Fieldwork is our high school program that really links high school students with authentic research that we do in our urban wildlife. So it's not just students going through some sort of exercise, it is actual science in the field, getting involved with the animals and the wildlife.
We're working with the Partners in Fieldwork program at the Lincoln Park Zoo. So today, for example, we've got a group of young people who are growing up in the city, inner city Chicago, and we're out here in beautiful LaBagh Woods, and we're doing some biodiversity testing. So they're collecting data today to describe the water quality over here, chemical data and biological data.
Well, first we had to put on the boots, and then we had to step into the water.
Hands-on experience, so just walking inside the river, just looking for microinvertebrates. And then having to look inside the fish net and seeing what you could find. That was pretty exciting.
Just seeing people analyzing the data, looking at the different macroinvertebrates, these little organisms look like big bugs, having my students scream because they've never seen anything or that they've never touched anything like that.
There were some things I could recognize, but most of it was just pretty big stuff that I haven't seen before.
I actually found the leech, and that was it was really big.
I'm more passionate about it because growing up in the city, you don't really take into account the environment as much as you would. But with the program, you kind of get more of a connection to it.
It's made me acknowledge a lot of different things, and my interest in pursuing a career has definitely changed because of this.
I want to major in environmental engineering.
I'm interested in majoring in environmental science.
All this stuff is kind of experience that I'm getting for later on.
I think it's super important for the people that live in an urban setting to pay attention more about the wildlife that surrounds them, and just to become more aware.
You figure if there wasn't as much pollution and stuff, there'd be more wildlife in the city and around here too. So it kind of all connects together.
And I just feel like we have to stop thinking we're the center of the universe, because there's more species that build our environments and that are actually important to us. They provide a lot of services for us, and I feel like that's why it's important.
Partners in Fieldwork has definitely helped connect my classroom with nature. It makes everything worth it. All of the long hours spent grading and all that stuff, it's all worth it.
One of the things that is amazing about Lincoln Park Zoo is the fact that we are free. So anyone in the city of Chicago can come and have an experience with the animals that we have here.
When you have a passion for what you do, then you'll never get complacent. Our senior team, our frontline workers, our volunteers all have that passion for what they do and for explaining what they do to our 3.5 million visitors a year.
I love watching the enthusiasm of all of our guests and visitors as they feel like I do in awe of the animals that we have here when they walk around.